Well, like I said, we have 4 lessons. We're going to be doing 4 lessons, and this is our lesson number 2. And on lesson number 2, we are looking at the qualities of a cell group pioneer. You see, it's good to be a pioneer. One of these days, just the desire to start something, because a pioneer is someone who starts things. A pioneer is an originator. He is a groundbreaker. I'll talk about this as I define. But I just want us to read Acts 2 verse 46. And they continually daily with one accord in the temple and breaking of bread from house to house did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart. Now, Genesis 12, verse 1 to 5, I will not read all of it, but I'll just read the first verse. Now the Lord had said unto Abraham, get thee out of the country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, and unto a land that I will show thee, and I will make you a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing, and I will bless them that bless you, and curse them that curse you, and in thee shall all family of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abraham took Sarah his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance, and that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. Now, this is Abraham. He was a pioneer. He was told to do something, and he obeyed to the word. So we look into churches now. You see, a church is something that is it's, I can't really say it's something. A church is a very important place, and we have short of pioneer. We are those people who want to pioneer the work. A lot of people in our churches are mere passengers. They just seated and they're just waiting for the coming of the Messiah. They're just there and they're just shut in, They don't want to do more. They don't want to do less. They just want to be there in the middle. In this season, we need people that can pioneer cell groups in order to spare up growth. And I want to define the definitions of a pioneer. Well, like I said in my introduction, pioneers are originators. We need to originate cell groups. We need to be able to start something from scratch. Yes, you need to start something from what? From scratch. And when you do that, it means you are an originator. Start something from what? From scratch. Right. Pioneers are groundbreakers. They are groundbreakers. Now, the ground which we will be breaking is not necessarily easy, and we need to be people who are determined and who are strong. And pioneers, they are missionaries. They have a sense of carrying a divine what? They have a sense of carrying a divine mission. They will not rest until the thing is what is accomplished. And these are the qualities of what we are looking at in a cell group leader. A cell group pioneer will hear the voice of the Lord. Yes, you hear the voice of the Lord. Abraham heard the voice of God to go to a land that he was to be shown, and it is vital to hear God's voice to start a cell group. When storms come, you can easily lean on the voice that spoke to you. A cell group pioneer will go to where nobody has been. You see, at one point in time, I was with my pastor and we were evangelizing in Mashingo there. So when we were evangelizing in Mashingo there, it happened that my pastor is a man who loves what I call open airs. So it was the early days that I was being taught on how to approach people in public and preach to them. So he just announced to the public that, you know what, guys, I have a young man that I'm here with. He's going to preach to you powerfully, and listen to what he's going to say. In Indrukuta, who is this young man? We are just the two of us here. And it then just points to me with a megaphone that we were using, and he handed it over to me. And the next minute I'm preaching. But for a moment, I almost felt like, oh God, may the ground open. I want just to disappear. This is too much for me. But the boldness that I took when I got hold of the megaphone, I preached the brethren. In me, I preached a storm of a message. And people were just excited. The joy of preaching to a crowd is you can't really tell, are they listening to you or they are not listening to you, because they are in motion, they are in movement. So you get a confidence, because but in other words, you'll be preaching a word that can change someone. And that is just but what I'm saying. A pioneer is someone who does things as in a fear. A cell group pioneer is bold and is fearless, and is one who has to anticipate and and articulate the challenges. Like Abraham, who should never stagger on the promises of God, and we should endeavor to push despite the challenges. A cell group pioneer is never discouraged. Many things can discourage you. For example, when I started myself, I was greatly discouraged, because so how then will I raise the money? Look in this church. If the church is saying we need to raise the money ourselves, then how are we going to raise this money? You know what? For it took a lot, to do that thing. Zvakanditorera nguva kuti ndoita sei. Then I approached some people in church, and you know what, before I knew it, someone is helping me. And that is how we managed to pass people to church up to today. Now, a cell group leader or a pioneer leaves a comfort zone. And living in a comfort zone, it talks of a Christian where is just a passenger. But when you choose to step out of the way, you realize that you do things that are amazing. Wadi, you have come out of the comfort zone. So doing nothing in church is very worrying. And you should be worried if you're just doing nothing in church. One of these days uchavhuvhuna macheya just nekungogara. Hey, you will put too much weight on the chair up until the chair retire and say, Shamar, I think it's time for me to retire now. You have been sitting on me since you came into this church. So, brothers and sisters, we need to take the challenge of joining departments. And Refson, I remember introducing you to the ushering team. My Tanya, my win. I also remember doing likewise, introducing you to the ushers. You can't expect the pastor then to tell you to do almost everything. And if I join you to a department, and if they tell you there is need for a uniform, then you also need to take it upon yourself, because how then will I find the uniform that is needed? And by telling your members, or the teamwork that will be done, the team members, by just sharing with them, we really love this department, but you know what, we have short of clothes, these uniforms. You'll be shocked or they can help you. And the next service you are joining others. So we're saying, as a cell group member, as a cell group pioneer, you need to come out of the comfort zone and pay the price. Many people, they don't want to pay the price. In a Christian world, Christianity is all about paying a price. You can't get things for free. Paying a price, it speaks of sacrifice. If you have seen, I've always sacrificed for you guys. Church, I've never asked for money for some of you. Early days ndesakubvunzai mari, ukabvunza vanhu mari kuti iri kupi mari, munosvikaruka matizamesa. I won't see anyone here umayake achienda kuchurch. Why? Because the pastor is asking you for money. But you have to pay the price. There is a point in time that you need to pay the price. You need to open your wallet and also say, Pastor, this is my money for bus fare. I'm going to church. And when you do that, you will realize that you have opened a door which no one will close. And that door is a door of sacrifice. And that is just what I want to say by concluding this lesson, by saying that a cell group leader is a disciplined person. Abraham was a highly disciplined person. It takes a disciplined person to build a divine work of any sort. This is what leads to its success. And I want to just conclude by saying God is looking for pioneers. Tese takagara apa tiri 1 2 3 4 5, myself 46. We are all being called to be pioneers. This is the work that I have pioneered. I started this in Stonebridge, but I am also now announcing it to you. But you guys, you have an input in this thing. You need to take it upon yourself. But this work that has been built, it need not to be destroyed. Nothing can come and destroy this work. We need to rise up and make sure that we stand with our pastor so that we also grow and make many cell groups. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Then lesson 3.